Music can move and remove. So we're gonna start this thing off right. Big Panics in the house tonight. We're gonna start this thing off right. Big Pontiac's in the house tonight. And this one comes to mind. I think I'm going to be sad. It's happening today. The girl that's driving me mad is going away. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, and she don't care. My baby don't care. Had to hit you with a little of that Beatles psyop music. Let's do this. Kick that shit's ass. Always passing out that blue energy, baby. That blue aragonite. Plus that blue got to do with communications. Like the stone I just showed, the music I was just showing, that is a color of communication. It's opening up my communication to produce. It is opening up your communication to receive. And on top of this blue aragonite. If I don't stop, it's gonna be too much fun for me. I don't know if that shit is as fun for y'all. Shoulders a lot better. Welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your super funky host, Big Pontiac. I am also the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins, and I am also sitting in that pocket as your galactic daddy-o, welcoming each and all the chocolate mountaineers to my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. So let's push it off. First and foremost, before everything, let me throw this out here and let me get this to y'all, because just the timing of the way this happens, but we still get to enjoy it because today is the day out of time. For the next 24 hours, you are in the between time. For the next 24 hours, technically, if you really could get into your Akashic records and break all that open, it's open right now, because we are in what the Mayan put it is like even the day of Hanukkah. It's a day, really, I guess that would be the greatest celebration. We are celebrating Hanukkah today in a way that nothing else celebrates it, because it's like if the multiple counter gets a day in between just to chill, you can imagine how powerful this would be for everybody else. So I wanted to give that out there because that energy is out there. And so those of you that are interested in touching in these deeper levels of mysticism that is related to you, because the Akashic Records is straight about you. It is straight about you. It is straight about tapping into you before you, before you, before you, before you. And how does this level of thinking come to mind? So I want to put that out there. Hey, Lobo, I know it's behind. So what's happening, man? I got GS over. Bo, I put Golden State there. None of y'all can say I didn't. I put them there. Yeah, it's on wax that I put them there. I thought they would lose to the Warriors, or excuse me, Sixers. But now it looks really like they're pushing the Sam Jones versus Wilt. That kind of energy, but I think with Wilt proceeding. So, it's out on wax that I put there out there. Oh, PJ, this hat is what PJ gave me from the den there in the motherfucking stadium. And that's what we do. That's what we do, He got his I sent him a hat, same time. He sent me a hat. I sent him a hat. He sent me a hat the next day. That's what we do. We trade because and he moves around. And that's what's beautiful about being able to move around and get this kind of stuff from everywhere. Because I love all of it. I love the art. And I know I don't own this label and I'm not making money off it, but I love the art because this is something I've always done. There used to be a picture of me at 2 years old. I'm wearing a Smokey the Bear baseball hat. This is before baseball hats was really baseball hats. My mother would like put my foot in my father's ass and go, get the little baseball hat. My father took me to little 5 and dime and found a little baseball hat with Smokey and the Bear. For a long time I had that picture, so it's been lost. But so y'all know, and they put Barkley on vacation today. Fuck Barkley. Charles Barkley wanted to throw that in all the time. You see, they gonna name, they named the Magic is gonna be Larry Bird, the Eastern Conference MVP is gonna be Larry Bird Trophy. If y'all didn't know that. Post game. Oh yeah. James. Thank you for joining, James. I'm sorry, but yeah, he did post game. I checked it out. I watched it. He was like, I'll say this: the NFL jobs is not as long as the NBA jobs. The NBA jobs last about 7 months. That's a long time. That's a long time to be doing what they're doing twice a week, and for a long time, just once a week. So, hey, Marcus the Great, what's happening, man? Hey, B Brown. What's up from the Memphis Dam? Yeah. PJ was down there, went to a game, and PJ swapped this up from inside the stadium. The den is inside the stadium. So, yeah, I'm about to, see, because PJ likes the Timberwolves, the warm-ups. I got one type of it. I'm going to see if they got any more to order. And we'll just, we push this stuff on to each other, man. We like to be fresh, baby. And if we can help each other being fresh, that's it. That's it. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make some shirts, and I'm gonna give them out to about 10 people. I'm just gonna get some shirts made. Barbara, PJ, Lobo, that's all I can think of right now. But Lorenzo, I'm sending these shirts out. So I'm gonna get some Chocolate Mountaineer shirts and just send them out before I even try to market them. Just send them to everybody. So those WCF and ECFMB trophies are participation awards. Well, I mean, you know, what you got to understand is this ritual. That's what you got to understand. They're putting ritual there. They're trying to add magic's energy against fighting the bird's energy. You know? And if you really like study what Brother Bomber says, you got the birds and the snakes fighting. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, you got the Larry Bird and you got magic that, you know, some people say the serpent is magic. So do you see how they add that there? The bird versus the serpent again, magic. So this is how far it really does go. Far as, I mean, if you understand true ritual and getting the most out of the ritual, as I said before, one thing the ritual that Will Smith and Chris Rock did. What did I say? And I've been saying this for years: is how do you make an event live longer? Do you see this thing? They played this thing out because again, that's the ritual. The ritual is to make it life after it's over. You know, when these people wear all these clothes and these outfits, the aim is to talk about these clothes and these outfits afterwards. To catch the imagination of the people, to push this energy, to keep this energy going. So that's part of it too. Yeah, the Grizzly gear. Yeah, the Grizzly's den. Yeah, that's where he got this from. You know, so I had to wear it. I'm gonna get that one. I like that warm up with the Grizzly on the arm. I think that's gonna be the fall hookup. Is I'm gonna get that one with the Grizzly on the arm. That shit is really crispy. That shit's nice. So I you know, I work with these motherfuckers, and I wore because I sat down yesterday just unloading. I'm super worker now. You know, I've been there a motherfucking month, and so dude looked at the shoes and like I normally wear my Skechers because they the best for being off and on my feet. A pair of my Maxes is like the last hour, but Skechers most of the day. Well, today I took 3 pairs of shoes. I was gonna wear my Adidas Doms 2 that have my orthotics in them. And in orthotics, really, you can't wear them motherfuckers more than a couple hours. They get to kicking your ass because they're just too rigid after a while. But for an hour, they're cool. Hour and a half, 2 hours, they're cool. And so dude commented on my shoes and was like, he had his shoes and they busted, you know, and I'm walking in there. I walk like this, all gold. I'm shining every day. Motherfucker, don't worry while I'm still working. I'm having fun, you know, because I'm like this all the time. I don't just, this is what I'm doing. If you don't like my sauce, fuck, I ain't got to be here. I've been being successful just doing my thing, but now this is extra gravy and y'all cool. This is who I am. Agreed. They definitely realistic. Still shows how watered down the league is. Oh yeah. I mean, Brady got having to play again. Oh, thank you, Marcus the Great. Yeah, thank PJ again. You know, my man. Making this man look crispy. That's all it is, you know. You know what I'm saying? My man, that's some shit we say is our guy, you know. That's how we talk. That's my man, you know, whatever. It is not anything different. It is like shit. That's the vibration of brothers that we become friends. And we push this energy across to each other. You know, that's it's just the thing. It's the thing is like we vibe and like I love that he moves around. He moves around where I can see how he move around, and that's just his sauce. That's his thing. You dig? And that makes me like joyful that the motherfucker fucks with me. That's, you know, as I've said before, you know, I go see my best friend, and you know, I take my 14 up there, and he got like a 1920 Audi sitting low, 4-door rims. But I feel just as proud as I'm moving around. When I'm moving around, I'm just as proud as because this is my man. This is, you know, I'm just as proud as him. You know, I'm proud of where he's at, without feeling any different or feeling jealous. I'm like, right the fuck on. And that's how you gotta be. It's like, fuck, you gotta get like, man, I want to see him get everything he can get. I want to see him doing it every way he can do it. You know, put your sauce out in any way you put your sauce out there. Put it out there and be a man. That's what we show. We show, you know, I sit here every day and I show what a motherfucking man try to look like from a masculine perspective. And I ain't perfect, but I'm sorry, I'm so behind. I'm so behind. Oh, flyness. Oh, definitely flyness. You know that flyness to the highness. Oh yeah. Oh, he said Louisiana tomorrow afternoon. My man, I'm gonna tell you that Saint shit is the bomb ass shit. That Saint shit, when they mix that gold and that black, some of that stuff they come up with, the Saint stuff, I'll say as a uniform, as a uniform, the Saints all black is hard to beat with the way they mix that gold. I'm just saying, as a pure, the best looking uniform, it's hard to beat that Saints with that gold and all black jersey and the gold numbers. It's hard to beat that look. That is a cold look. Hey, there he is. Black Trunks, the United Drills. What's happening? So, yeah, real is real. That's right. Hey, Siova, my man. Siova did that shout out for me. Right on, brother. I appreciate the shout out against the magnetic sticking it there. I've done one about that one before, too. So thank you, brother. I appreciate, I appreciate that. The Warriors are the modern day Chicago Bulls. Oh, yeah. What did they say? 6 out of 8. You see how they had them numbers? You know, enter, enter stress, blue and gold, yellow and green. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, their colors go hard. Oh, it's hard to beat that blacks all black when they black it out. And I'll say, the pros was really slow on that. High school, that's where I first saw it was people wearing that solid color. Because normally we would wear kind of reverse. Home, you was generally dark. On the road, you was white. College, it was switched. College was switched as to, no, okay, so white at home. In high school, white at home. And on the road, dark. In college, we was dark at home, white on the road. Yeah. So they switched that kind of thing. But I was seeing that solid stuff. Oh, and I'm sorry I didn't do my commercial. I'm sorry. Tonight, they got a case. And I was stupid. I just bought a 6-pack and I should have bought the damn case. I wasn't, I just was pickleballed out. But we are going with a border beer, dark chocolate porter with natural flavors, 6.5. And it make y'all feel real bad and envious. And I know I was just talking shit about not being envious, but be envious of this. I've got this golden ale here. And just imagine that you could have this, and for some reason I've got it and you don't. And so, don't you wish it was me right now enjoying this amber goodness? Oh, there it is. I'm not going to do the Luca because I am pretty blitzed right now as it is, and Luca's not necessary. But let me show you what I did yesterday. So they just passed laws in this state, and the flood markets are open. So yesterday I bought this. And this is basically CBD. No, not even CBD. They call it Delta 8. Delta 8 with THC in it. 25 milligrams. And so tonight it made me go get these. And these are 50 milligrams each. And the law's about to pass to put these in. So the point is to smoke them if you want them. Pop them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. But we want them with these gummies. It's becoming legal here. They just let this go. So what's happening? That man, it was the most obvious magnetic fail. Yeah. And a mocking too. Look at that as a mocking too. But yeah, that too, but as a mocking, because I had the one where it was inside, and they're pushing it up from the inside. Remember the one I did? So very similar. But yeah, I guess I hadn't even thought about the fail. Yeah, it could have really been a fail, or them not paying attention. Leonard Wade, no chance of Heat and Warriors. No, I don't think so. I don't think they're not gonna make the money on the Heat and Warriors. Thank you. This is the brother PJ. No chance. No, I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. Yellow and blue Warriors make green Celtics. That's a good point. Yeah, I got it. I was feeling you. Yep. Oh yeah, these gummies is the bomb. I am lit. Let me tell you my gummy story. So I was talking about being at work and shit. So I'm at work and I took one of these. I did a couple bongs and I took both of these packs because it was 2 came in here. 2 is 50 milligrams. I took one. I smoked a couple bongs, went to work, took a gummy. About an hour and a half into work, motherfucker, come talk to me and shit, and I was like, oh, You know, went in the bathroom, but my shit is like this. It's pinked out. I just kind of laughed. And this gets to my question. Here goes one for y'all. So, you know, like, how many of y'all go out and, like, you go out in the world and you be feeling good and buzzed, and then you realize that the rest of the world ain't buzzed? I mean, how do you experience that? I go to the store, be feeling good in the motherfucker, and I'll be like, damn, like, why don't y'all feel as good as I feel? What is y'all doing? You know, like, what is, like, why am I in such a good mood and learn how to elevate myself to my highest self, or what you see is my highest self? And, I don't know. Bacon too. Oh, word, yeah, yeah. I get good sleep with those Delta H THC gummies before. Yeah, yeah, they got them for that too. Dre and Luca did a Freemasonic handshake when them. No, the look though, and I think Lobo showed the look. Oh, this is for Lobo. Lobo, let me tell you. Ooh, I didn't do it because, you know, the phone was charging up to do download Apple's latest download, and was working with the TV, and I got the TV to film it. Now, if you remember, right before halftime, right at the top of the key, Clay hits a three. Do y'all remember that? It was right before halftime. Clay hits a three from the top of the key. And this is where I know they're in control of some of this stuff, far as the material, as the games. So do y'all remember that? So I was taping on my TV. I taped because I knew I probably was going to take a few minutes before I could get the download. And so I'm taping it on my TV. And if y'all remember this, and they showed it more than once, Clay gets a pass. He hits a three from the top of the key. He runs to, so this is the break to halftime. So he's running on the sideline, and you see his face, and this made me think of Lobo, and his face showed you they was going to win tonight. He had that face, and then this is right at halftime, or maybe it was the early third, but I want to say this was right before halftime, I'm pretty sure. And the face showed that they won tonight. Because, you know, he hit the J, and I really couldn't say it manipulated. Now, again, a swish drawn to the back, which most of the shots are manipulated. But it was that look. And I went back, and I'm saying I've done this before. You go back and try to isolate this stuff, and you can't find it. Like I tried to say about what Kenny Smith said. When Kenny Smith said at halftime the only way Carolina could lose, I had enough recording or enough of the program that went back to that moment, couldn't catch what he said again. It was like they cut that out of there. So, you know, I look at some of that stuff too. I'm like, man, they try to hide this stuff. And so, but that showed me that definitely they was going to win. But again, the blowout, for the majority of the game, the blowout. Why again the blowout? I don't get that. I don't get the blowout stuff. I got some high-powered gummies and the THC infused juice out west. Oh, bet. Yeah, right now we can go to South. Like regional, they're gonna have to legalize it. Again, I'm about 10 hours from Denver, but I'm only about 3-4 hours from South Dakota, and it's all legal in South Dakota. So I mean, it's really no way. And they ain't gonna stop everybody going back and forth. Like they got signs in Colorado, like they gonna stop and check the cars. Come on. That's just propaganda. It's like that shit. What for a misdemeanor now? Shit, if I'm taking a bag of gummies, you can't get me to try and I'm taking them back to sell them. I mean, that shit don't work no more. People in a rush for nothing. Yeah, there you go. Clay so happy they turned the magnet on. Yeah, Lorenzo G. Absolutely. That's my point. Yep. I'm a certified pothead, but I take a break. I've been doing good so far. I haven't smoked since February. Yeah, I don't take a break. I try to find a way because flour is too harsh. Wax, you can make it less and less harsh. Just find the sophistication to make it less, and it's more expensive to make it less and less harsh. So gummies are perfect. Because, like, think of a long drive, you know, and it's still kind of cool driving long ways. I know a lot of people don't like it, but some kind of ways in cars, and especially sedans or SUVs, you can just cruise. I mean, American cars are made to just cruise through these streets, these highways. But yeah, I get it on every day. Maybe that part of his injury was mind controlling, but times like these, yeah, could be. And they hold you out. They hold you out. It's kind of a ritual in itself when they hold you out. Uh, Always nodded to be in control of it. Oh, definitely. It jumped on me. Always, yeah. Most of these games have been boring with the lopsided 2K scores. Yes, yeah. Yeah, me either. No breaks. I'm like going strong. Going strong, but finding a better way, to not have to smoke. I like that. That's perfect. Because smoking gets kind of harsh at times. So yeah. The games are not. It's a rough script that they're putting, and I said the ritual at the end. But yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. I'll just I'll say this. The one brother that does what Zach Hubbard does, and yeah, I'm sorry I don't remember your name, but like the bets is in at that sweep. He was saying sweeps, and get with me another show. I'll say his name, but I agree with him. He does the Gematria channel too, and he was saying 4-game sweep if you can get that bet in. 24 on the watcher. But you can bet to see if it's going to be a 4 or early bet. Like right now, you can bet right now. What I used to always do is like you can bet on the Kentucky, to sweep next year. The horse racing for the following year, like the Kentucky Derby and those races. You can bet on the head. You can bet right now on your odds for the Super Bowl. You can bet on all that. So, but you can bet on the Warriors coming up if you want to take that. Yeah, definitely. Blowouts have been consistent. Yeah, in the playoffs. Unwatchable. Yeah, boring. I didn't even watch hockey. I don't even think I know of hockey. What's Lobo's channel? I think it's Lobo. I think it's Lobo. That's what he comes on here, so I'm pretty sure it's Lobo. Lobo, throw your stuff out there. But I think it's the Great Lobo. Yeah, there you are. Here we go. The Great Lobo. Yeah. Well, finals would be 7. I don't know. I'm putting my money on them 4. You ain't got to put your money on that. I think 4 might be a good bet for now. And they could turn it, but wouldn't be surprised. He was saying they ain't gonna let his point was they wasn't gonna let the Lakers step or any of them, Lakers or Boston get beyond 18 or 18. So it's like the Lakers for losing all. The Lakers lost to Boston out of them eight in a row. I think the Lakers lost 4 out of the 8. Maybe more them years that the 8 in a row they won, but the Lakers was repaid with Magic and Kareem, and then they gave Kobe a couple. Magic's teams was probably a lot stronger, but than what Kobe had. And then with some of them that Ralph Sampson shot to put Magic in them out. When Magic, they had the best team in the league. And that shot was probably more than likely manipulated too. I said before, brother heard me talk about it, and he put it on wax. And whoever your channel is, I ain't mad at you or nothing. Right on. He found it and he put it on, right on. I wasn't mad about that. I mean, it's about creating minds, baby. You think I put this out here and be selfish about this shit? And you don't think I want the thing to make it better, make it. That's the aim. That's the aim. The aim is to start the idea. The aim is to see if there's other thinkers out there. That's all. Hey, the Most High, how you doing? This is the weakest looking conference final, playoffs, and upcoming finals. Softest pill bottle cotton. That's funny. I haven't heard that in a long time. I went to Sportmatic Fatag only having passing interest. Okay. Sports fanatic. Are you saying the Warriors win all 4 games? Yeah. That was what the dude that did the Gematria. I'll write his name down. Sorry, I don't remember. It's the same dude that does the stuff Zach do. he was hitting Zach though. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, let me show you. This is some bad shit. And I've ordered a bunch of this stuff. It's called Concordiavite. I don't know if the writing will show up. Concordiavite. There we go. Concordiavite. And this is some stuff come out of California. And it says Barrow Open Pit Mine, Barrow, Kent County, California. And as I talk about the zoolites, you know, this is like one of the badass, kind of rare, you know, not as popular, but rare zoolites. And zoolites remove, you know, they are called the master scrubbers. You know, that's why I've got, you know, I'm surrounded by my protections as zoolites, these pyramids. This is a populite. But this is a unique one too. And this is out of a mine that they stopped mining in the 60s. So it's, you know, this is what they mine. So pretty easy to get. Pretty easy to get. So not too expensive. Pretty readily available. So what I think about it, you know, I'd really rather not speak on it. You can't really take a position. It's hard to be positioned and it not looked at or the words twisted on what you think. I mean, it's more than one thing. It's not just one thing and look at it as just one thing. It's not. It's many things. It's the cause and it's the effect. And this has been going on. My son is going on 27 years. I think Columbine was 27 years ago. Or maybe 28 years ago, when this thing is this has become a tactic almost, if you look at it. So rather not talk about it. The Bells Man's is so therapeutic. Oh, definitely. But in a way, you know, don't really, that's all I really got to say. You know, in a way, that's all I really got to say about it. Because it ain't no one thing to say. So I'd rather just be more, be keeping my thoughts to myself, so I don't sway or rock any waters, because that ain't really my lane of thinking. My children go to school close, so hey Lorenzo, yeah. So you know, it's reportedly a sad thing. Now, if meant to invade your emotions, and I mean really invade your emotions, it's meant to invade your emotions, to take over your thinking for a day or so. But I've said this very many times, as a being that has been destroyed by this thing over and over again and finally kind of got it. Nothing this thing does surprises me. As you see, this thing feeds on this kind of thing for this energy that's put out there. It needs this energy constantly. The twists and turns always twist back to this turn. Damn, that was kind of brilliant. So, and they want to make you desensitized to it. You know, Biden just signed, you know, the a crime. No. He just signed an executive order, kind of stripping, putting a tighter grip on police accountability. He cut a little bit of them today in the executive order after this thing happens. So do you see that happens, and then all of a sudden he's kind of cutting a little bit of their authority. And, you know, the movies, the way these purge movies have showed you. And I was looking at things showing Hitler, but not just Hitler. I mean, what Hitler did, and you look at the Americans, how the gangsters did it, was almost the same kind of thing. The streets of New York and Chicago was almost like wars during the wars leading where Hitler came in power in the 20s. And the weight of the depression through the early 20s to, to the 33, those years, it was chaos in the streets of Chicago and New York with these gangsters, these Jewish faith gangsters and Italian gangsters and all the gangsters that lived in all these areas. Same kind of control, violence. But they show you, when Hitler goes and what with armies and stuff, when a lot of the same kind of thing was done with smaller armies here in America. I mean, the violence from when they landed to it never ended. This is a violence that has never ended with them. Now through the Revolutionary War, shit, before that, the Bacon's Rebellion, the Creek Wars. I mean, the wars that first came that was truly on the North American lands. It's never been over. Continuous war. In Cincinnati, wow, that was another one. Okay, wow, the purge is just a preset for what's going to really happen, kind of. Chicago is so violent, and I've said this, let's stay on this. Chicago is so violent. I've been said this, What you have to understand is what snowfall doesn't show you. The one thing that snowfall lets people down is snowfall does not show the amount of violence, the true amount of violence that was government backed. I mean, you have to understand how gangs were created with the help of government aid, local and federally. As I've said many times, no way the Panthers organized without help from organized crime or not even crime, FBI, organized FBI. That's why it was so organized. They say that the Communist Manifesto, but no, they put an organized thing. They've already shown it to work. And so you look at the violence that you saw in LA in the 80s that swept across this country, but especially in LA. And later, Chicago, you cannot tell me, I've said this many, many, many times. Chicago got what, 11 million people? And it's like what they want you to believe that is almost 100 people a day want to shoot somebody. That's what the propaganda a lot is, that 100 people want to shoot somebody every day. Now, that is a war. If there's 100 people shooting at other people every day, that is a war. And you're saying that the people are just solely responsible for this? They're solely responsible for this war? They're not. It's really going down right before our eyes, yeah. And so you always got to be not a target. That's a given. Don't be a target. That's the problem is. And it's, I'm not going to advocate one way or another. I think we all got the right to be armed and protect ourselves. What the fuck is this? I mean, I'm glad I live in this state. And when you show power, people don't fuck with you. It's just how it is. They try to show you that, the melanated people defend themselves and carry, but if you got all your shit together, it's not illegal. And it's intent. A lot of it is an intent. Like we have a thing about knives in this state. The thing about the knives are you're only really supposed to have a specific kind of knife. But if you have a different kind of knife, all you got to do is just explain that, this is the different kind of knife and what you plan on using it for. That's all. Just explain what are you using this motherfucker for? Well, officer, I really think I need this. I've always got those little, snarls I need to cut out and just little shit, and I need a razor sharp knife. Well, sounds good to me. Oh, guys, I want you to feel this day out of time energy. My goodness, if you can get deep into the ancestors, it's a midway. This is the midway energy, guys. This is the midway energy. And I mean, really, where it's in between. This is the good time to have the time off of this bullshit, where we even get a break from it. You just got to take the break. You got to ride this energy. Like I was trying to tell you, really music and even this smoke, even smoke. It's like I was saying, you can get lost on a tune. You can start meditating to something like this or even incense, and you can like hit the smoke and rise up with the smoke, or you can even play with it, just go in it as the smoke trails, just kind of playing with the smoke and moving with it. But you can just get it lost into that too, where you are the smoking shit and you're playing with this shit because you vibe with it so deeply, and the shit would just really start playing back, and you, as I said, the shit would go up and you become that, and this is like what our capabilities are, and this ain't nothing hard. I'm saying this is fairly easy. So it's a war going on outside, so man, it's safe. It don't matter. You 3 feet, yeah, it don't. So hey Lorenzo, what's happening? Yeah, Lorenzo, I'm gonna get some shirts made. As I said, I'm gonna get some chocolate mountaineer shirts and just give them to about 10 people. And before I even try to bust out, see if other folks will want them. But I'm gonna give them to 10 people that's been rocking with me. So that's, instead of sending more hats, I'll just make those shirts. I'm gonna still send Conspiracy University. I'm gonna still send his hat, and Brother Sean, and still Viking gear. I'm still ain't really seeing the Viking gear. So I imagine I'll keep looking for it because they sold out. They had jerseys, cook jerseys. Shelalito, hello dear. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just get the shirts instead of getting hats. Just design some shirts and send them out. So yeah, that's the plan. So it's shit. This shit is really going good. This is a good vibe. Things have really been fun. Been having fun, and that's whatever you do. You should have fun. You ain't got to be rich to have fun. You can have fun just being yourself. As I said, you go out in the world, and the world is not on the same vibe you are, and you can't stop it. And I say, you want to just practice magic. Just the way you move, that's magic. The way you move is magic. Boom. It's like I kind of wanted to talk about a kind of thing that is called one thing, but in practice is another thing, and it's not connected to human trafficking. I hate that these words are connected to that because it's really not. But I think I want to break these words down. So there are two words and the first word I'm going to start off with. Most of y'all probably, this is really a deep Midwest thing. I can't say on the world stage this was what the world did, but I could say in Michigan, Chicago, this was a vibe. This was a kind of movement. Now, the word pimp is not all just about human trafficking. It is actually such a deep culture that existed for forever. The bordellos was spots, if you understand. And somebody ran the bordellos. It wasn't like it's just like, hey, all the girls got together and say, you know what, we gonna all go in this house, and girls, we all want a hoe, and so we'll just live in this house and hoe. It don't work like that. It has always been people that organize that. Okay. This is what it used to be up until my early life. It was still existed in the 70s. It was still spots where it was people. When I was a boy, it was still spots where it was where people went. I was like, oh, me and my dad was riding one day. I'm like, what's this? And my dad was like, he kind of said it. He's like, well, it's where guys can go and have a good time. I was like, oh. So, okay, but so the first term is called mummy pimping. Now, it is a way a mummy pimp walks, and it is like the mummy. All right, do you understand? The dude would walk like the mummy. I don't know if y'all. This is melanated culture in Michigan in the 60s, 70s. It was the way a person walked. It was called mummy pimping. And when he walked, he pretty much walked like the mummy walked. You know, the mummy would be the least one that could catch you. He only had one move. He dragged his leg kind of behind the other leg. And this became a distinctive way of walking for brothers. It showed what kind of level he was. And a lot of times, the main thing that a mummy pimp was known for was regenerating girls. And I mean regenerating, where these girls, you know, been on the thing and, you know, they get with him and all of a sudden they cracking again. They getting it. That was what a mummy pimp did. The next term is called a gorilla pimp. Now, most people think that a gorilla pimp was a person that just bared down. No, no, no. A gorilla pimp was a dude that made sure everybody that worked with him was going to get it. Where the mummy pimp people was kind of a little more laid back. You know, he's saying, okay, you've been getting it for so long, you know, just keep getting it the way you're getting it. Mummy pimp ain't really aggressive. That energy is like, it's coming to us anyway. A gorilla pimp recruits people that's like, hey, I want everybody to be on it. I want everybody to move. You got to be, you know, we snapping this. We making this going quick. We want everybody to be on this thing where we all go get it. Wasn't about his grip was just in a vice. It was no. This was the ultimate. And I just lost the word I would have used, but he had inspiration. He pushed out the inspiration of everybody going to go get it. We're an aggressive organization about how we go do our business. We do our business aggressively. So they killed this word. This word never meant totally that. It was a culture, a part of it that had nothing to do with human trafficking. I mean, even getting chosen, all that. When you know, in the old days, when a girl courted, a girl would court at the same time 8 or 9 motherfuckers. And then she would, in a letter or family, would choose one. Do you see what I'm telling you? They have movies that show you this shit. Again, I watched a lot of movies made in the 30s, 40s, 50s. There's movies like this. It's sometimes dudes would be outside her parlor or whatever. And she would, you know, the parents would get a dude the letter and the rest of them lose and they got to live. So she chose him. You see what I'm saying? And so when all the players is around and, you know, the girls is moving around and the girls just want to choose you. And it's the same thing, you know? And I say the 70s was so great because it was easy to choose and be chosen because people was open to that. That's why when they were saying at the clubs now, women just go to twerk on each other and dance with each other. You can't even ask a woman to dance anymore. It's mind blowing. It was never meant to be solitary of the sex. This is the music and everything is meant to mingle. This was meant to mingle, meant to move. That's why the AIDS condoms thing that came in was trying to kill that. And that wasn't very long. The free love wasn't very long before they put that fear of AIDS. Love that beer. Love that beer. Crazy Sarge, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining. Jody, what did you think of that shack, Jody? Gorilla pimping. Yeah, Crazy Sarge. Yeah, again. We all want a hoe. Having fun right now playing 2K, listening to the OG. Oh yeah, but yeah, Lorenzo, I'm definitely gonna get that out to you. But yeah, we all want a hoe. I mean, just look at it realistically, you know. That's all. That's all. But Crazy Sarge, my man, that might be the trip. Crazy Sarge is she come up that way. My granddad here in Cleveland back in the day, a couple uncles too. My granddad, you know, and They say Richard Pryor, his grandmother, was pimping and ran pool halls and bordellos. You know, she was like, and then her sons became in it. You know, this is her grandson. So, you know, that's why Rich, you know, could sing and all that. You know, he grew up, you know, kind of the end of vaudeville. You know, vaudeville entertainers had to do it all. You know, vaudeville is really early movies was based a lot on just vaudeville performance, especially people singing and, you know, dancing, that kind of stuff. Like if you watch the Marx Brothers movies, it ain't nothing but vaudeville stage. They just filming some shit on vaudeville stages. If you watch back in the Marx Brothers, and the shit's funny as hell. The Marx Brothers, a lot of it's funny, but it's like just shot vaudeville stage stuff, you know. So, but yeah, he had that. Now you could say, you know, Georgia Tech, but it was a Panther, you know. What? Yeah, Georgia Tech is Tigers, and it was obvious a Panther, and so he's giving a sign to somebody, you know. And they made fun of Shaq. I mean, y'all, Bedazzled is about Shaq. Bedazzled is about Shaq, and they're making fun of Shaq, but Shaq showy with it. Yeah, Jody says she giggled. Yeah, showy with it. You know, I mean, hey, Brisk Clown, thank you for joining me. Brisk Clown. Oh, this is my guest host. Uh, what are you called? I'm not thinking. Nobody's fool. Thank you. This thing is super bad. You know, I'm in the zone tonight. This thing, talking shit about it. This thing is definitely a talisman, and it's like it loves being here so much more than where it is. But it's definitely a talisman. It's you have to understand how this stuff works. I had good time just looking at this and communicating with this, and it's like you can see where I don't how life looking this is. It is excellent, but it is created for that communication. And I mean, really, that communication of how talisman is to be used and how the things around you, as I try to say at the end, how things around you, you know, you use them. You put things around you that you use. This is kind of how magic works. Greetings, Firewater. So back in the gap, women used to have they choose and choose. Yeah. I mean, that's how it was. Women it would be suitors. You would be a suitor. And so, you know, it was known that she was going to date a bunch of people. That was known. Now, not necessarily, you know, give it to a bunch of people, but she was going to date many dudes. And it's always been the same. It's always been more women than men. So men was stupid to go back. In a way. News on Texas is Melia was able to legally purchase. I'm not surprised. I'm learning, listening to the OG, gaining wisdom. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So that's how it kind of works. It's just funny to recognize, you know, when the energy comes through, recognize energy. Because like this expression changed. like even its gaze changed. It's like this is what trips up people out because it's like I've tried to activate it and you see this gaze will change. The gaze changed because the angle it's looking on cannot look up at me. The angle you see here, if I'm standing a few feet, it is looking lower than me. But it changed the gaze, and I just giggled when it changed the gaze. So it's fun to work with. It's really fun to work with. And these are fairly rare, apparently. So you know what they say, I fucks with it. I'm glad it's in my energy. I'm glad it works, you know. And all this, all this works. All this, and I use it. So should you. I mean, we live in a magical world. I mean, if you really understand how everything works. I want to set up really a flat plane thing with people. I really do want to set up a conference of people flat plane. I might even get Brother James Red Wolf on here about that Tertarian stuff. But I don't really like arguing about stuff because I don't have to argue about it. And I don't really want to shred anybody's points. But it's like more to the story. That's all. More to the story. I missed the beginning of the show. We was drinking today. Right on. I told you Celtics, Warriors. CWE. I've had Warriors. Y'all know I have Warriors. Now I have Warriors Sixers. Everybody know that, but I have Warriors. And what did I say? As soon as the Sixers died, I was like, the Warriors are probably gonna win. As I switched just like that, I was like, well, okay, one of my two went in. I think they're going to win. So I've said that that looks like the case. That looks like the scenario. And then give the finals MVP to Steph. I think that's the aim right here of it all. Give the finals MVP to Steph. So, yeah. Man, let me tell you, I was looking at a picture of me from 17. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my neck. Oh, I'm so like none of all that. Oh, my face was so swollen. Wow. I was looking at myself like, my goodness, what happened? You know, what really happened back then? My goodness, what happened? Way overweight. Way overweight. So I'm glad. Oh, let me talk. I did 3 miles of pickleball today. 3 miles of pickleball. I played 8 games. I think I won. I think I was about 4-4 today. Wasn't really too bad today. The game is really getting good. I probably could have played 10 or 11 games today, but I didn't push it. And afterwards, my knee was a little sore. But 3 miles in of workout, yeah. And it's all that. Get your heart rate up. It does all that. Heart rate rises and all that. So, yeah. There was a clip I saw where they were saying Jaylen Brown was playing like Jordan. Well, if you really look at Draymond Green, they give Draymond Green the Jordan number 23, but yet Draymond went to school with Magic, and Draymond plays Magic's role. I mean, that's, ever since he's been there. Draymond get the rebound, he pushing it. They never really call him a point forward, but he really does a lot of what Magic did. I mean, people forget as the asset that Magic was at 6'9", Magic was matching up with people 6'9", 6'10" on defense. Back when, your power forward was 6'9", Magic could match up with a power forward. That's why Cooper had helped Cooper. And what was the guard that came in that later coached Byron? When they brought Byron in, Byron helped so much because Byron could guard the smaller person from the other team. Magic could match up, even though Magic playing guard. Magic's matching up with a 4. So we got Green playing the Magic role, if you understand what you're seeing. That we've had that he's playing Magic, That's why they got a word for Magic. Do you understand all this ritual? That energy, again, as I said, the game is, and the way they have corrupted and controlled it, but yet they know that there's a ritual and energy from all this. Because as the mind called this creation ball field. I've said many times, ball fields are also created for mothers that lose children. This is the one place they're supposed to go. That's why I say I just laugh. You see these people in Mexico playing on a court that is clearly meant for this. It ain't meant to play the ball game on there. It is meant to place to go grief. And yet you got these idiots, 1,000 years later say, well, these angles, we got to get up and put the ball through the hoop, with our hips through these angles. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't understand it all. They want to even confuse you. Well, that looks logical to me. And this is part of it too. This is what's encouraged. From creation, this was created. This place. So I think it's too obvious to pick the Warriors. I'm picking the Warriors to bet to win in 4. I'm gonna take that. The world is a stage, indeed. Yeah, I'm gonna get that early bet, picking them to go in 4. I think that might be a good little lick. I'm gonna see if I can get that lick. We'll see. This is one of the acid ones. The longer one is cheaper, but stay sweet a long time. And man, I ain't bit through it. I like tobacco too much. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up getting boxes of these motherfuckers and then get a humidor and shit. Tobacco is really the interesting kind of transformation instead of having to burn it and getting these artificial things. I mean, when you chew on these, you ain't got to spit all the time. Motherfuckers dip and spit. You just absorb it. Warriors in 4. I'm betting Warriors in 4. I think I'm gonna bet Warriors in 4 and Warriors in 5. Yeah, I might take both of them. That's beautiful the way you can spread your money out, hedge your bets a little bit. But I'm saying Warriors in 4. Get that bet in. Let me get that bet in tomorrow. Or this morning. This morning. Warriors in 4. That's what I'm looking at. That might be pretty good. Pretty good information. And then with basketball ends, oh my goodness, it is just terrible sports TV. It's truly be outside. This USFL ain't gonna hold people. And this in baseball again, baseball ain't watched until everything else adds back up. But in July, football starts back. So, but the USFL keep going. They gave him that contract. You notice on the USFL, those of you who watch the USFL, they ain't nobody, they don't wear anybody's equipment. You think I thought at least Champion might sponsor them. Not even Champion one. I thought maybe the Nazi boss stuff put the Russell on it, you know. Sam Jones ritual. Oh, absolutely, Sam Jones ritual too. Yeah. What do you think of Sirius Radio? And I love Sirius Radio, but Shady 45. It's a channel. No, it's 42. You know, 42 is soul music, rap soul music. It's no accident. It's in your face. You know, ooh. This is 95% bitters. Tell you what, I've said this over and over again. Bitters really help clarity in visions, clarity in your spiritual work. Bitters help with that. Chocolate ain't meant to have sugar in it. It's meant to be bitter. Chocolate is bitter. See, the Germans, or whatever Hershey was, the Europeans didn't like the bitter. So they made you think they liked the sugar in it, and it watered down, and the effect is less. It's the bitter that you want. Like coffee is technically a bitter too. And IPA beers is bitter beer. It's not the chocolatey flavor, like, you know, more of this, the malts with the chocolate in it. B. Brown says Boston can fall to 17-5 in the finals. Dallas was fine, studied for standing in bench area. Yeah, that's 175. That brother was harping on it again and again, saying how that's in the ritual. I'll go back and write his name and put it in the thing. So I'll try to remind myself to do that. Damn, this hat is sweet. This hat is really sweet. I definitely got to get the gear to go with this shit. Man, the fall. I get the one with the bear. My shit is gonna be just crispy like a motherfucker. I dress crispy anyway. Boston too big for Golden State. I don't think so. Hartford and Williams. And you know, I don't know if y'all know Hartford's daddy, Tito Hartford. I don't know if y'all remember him. Tito Hartford was very close. I guess, to Ben Simmons' career. If you looked at Tito Hartford, I think for a while he was ineligible and he played. And then he wasn't effective. You know, he didn't play a whole lot of college. It seemed like they held him out a lot. But they started talking about him in college. Now, he comes from one of the islands. I think Jamaica, is where he comes from. So he comes from the Americas. Or maybe even Cuba. I want to even say maybe Cuba. And maybe they got him to defect, I think is what his story was. As a younger boy, this 7-footer wanted to defect. And it was interesting how if you looked at Tito Hartford's career, they never let him bloom to let his son bloom. I was watching that. I was just looking the other day, and I remember how much I watched Tito Hartford's career, and it never really came into anything. But then his son's career has been everything. So do you see how they do it sometimes? And you can even say the same thing for Dale Curry. Dale really wasn't much. And that goes back to the Manning boys. Peyton or Archie Manning was one of the biggest losers, but his boys weren't. Even the one in New York sucked. He was one of the worst. He won 2 Super Bowls, but he was probably he is probably like between Joe Namath being the worst of all the quarterbacks. That Manning boy in New York was probably number 2 of the worst career quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. Joe Namath is number 1 worst to win a Super Bowl. The Manning in New York was number 2 of winning. Tatum and Brown, big physical guards. So Miami has no chance. Yeah, I think Miami, they don't want that. They don't want that for the money. Boston is going to be bigger name with the Warriors winning though, but Boston Warriors is more of history. So I just don't think. Yeah, I think they're going to push. They're going to push Boston through. I don't think that's going to matter. James, how you doing? Danville, how you doing too? If I missed it, I'm sorry if I missed you, brother James. Definitely. Smart play, good defense, yeah. But then they when they help them shots from deep, there ain't no defense for that shit. Ain't no defense for them deep shots they gonna help go in. Clay, them picks. I'll say this: if you really know how offensive moves, let me get my point across. If you really know how offensive moves, a lot of what Duke runs is what Carolina runs for Curry and Clay. Those 3-4 picks for a person. Like I don't know if you really know that. Notice they'll run off like JJ Redick. I'll say was one of the best Duke players to ever play in Krzyzewski's systems of multiple picking and moving. I mean, JJ was at Duke. This dude was getting everybody picking for him. You know, and they do that a lot for Clay, where they'll run you through both sides for having multiple picks where you got to move. And that's I'll say of scripting it. That's one of the harder scripts is these dudes being able to move, going through these picks, and then having to go back and play defense and the ball handling skills too. I mean, these dudes still got to be in shape to do all this. Never said they wasn't. You got to be in shape to do all this because this is how the script is done. You know, multiple picks, then got to play defense. But it's like the way they don't like the big people anymore. You know. Oh, let me tell this story. The state is leaving me, but I've said this before. Eden Prairie is not too far from me. I used to live in Eden Prairie. Beautiful place. That's where Adrian Peterson used to live. Greg Jennings still lives in Adrian Peterson. Greg and Adrian Peterson was both neighbors of mine when I lived in Eden Prairie. They lived not far from me. And one thing I noticed is they had one of the best programs where all the little peewee programs ran the high school offense. I mean, you know, and I watched that in Michigan too, where you take every level and they all learn the same offense. So by the time they step in, this program it was one of the biggest young football leagues in the state. And it's just showing the dwindling. I just tell the story because they showed just how it dwindled, you know, just how this is just shrinking and shrinking. And as I said before, a lot of people are going on to 8-on-8 football. 8-on-8 in football is just a step away from 7-on-7 no tackling. I mean, we have teams that play 8-on-8 man. I think we have teams in this state that play. We definitely have 8-man, but I want to say 7-man. We already have that in this state. We have a state champion in 7 or 8-man football. I think it's 8-man football, but we already have a champion for that in this state. And so eventually the tackling is going to be taken out. I mean, if we care about people, there's no way that can continue. Or you can't be allowed to do it as long. I already say a person shouldn't probably start tackling until he in 9th grade. I used to say 7th grade, but I think 9th grade. If you're going to continue tackle football, a child should not tackle until they're in 9th grade. Up to then, it's just straight 7-on-7. And so if you want to say if there's a way to cut some of these injuries, that is a way. I watched my son as a little boy take hits and probably knocked him out a little bit. And I've told this story many times before. I had a coach that had a drill where you had to run through everybody. And wherever you got tackled, you had to keep doing it. He did my son once, and then I watched him try to let my son do it again. So you've got one person that's running straight at everybody and get tackled by 10 or 11 people. That is not a good drill. Drill is asking for injury. In a game, you only get tackled one time. Why would you teach something where you're getting tackled 10 or 11 times? And these dudes got mad. I'm like, hell no. I watched him do it once. I'm like, okay. And they put him on the line and say, you're going to do it again. I was like, hell no. I pulled him out the drill. Like, are you guys crazy? You trying to hurt these children? This is asking for injury. He already tired from doing it once. Well, we're trying to, yeah, okay, get your ass beat out here. You ain't going to treat my son like this. Yeah, Ray Liotta, I saw that he passed. All teams, Dallas too small. Clay and Curry gonna bury them threes. Yeah, they gonna hit them. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Dallas too small. The Warriors playing Globetrotters. All the league play Globetrotters, though. It ain't just them. Everybody plays Globetrotters. Celtics play defense. Yeah, okay. It's a play for every defense. Too many second chance shots for Golden State. Yeah, Ray Liotta. This other brother pointed out the first brother to play for Kentucky, integration, and he didn't play for Adolph Rump. Adolph Rump left before this dude came. I don't remember who was coach then. I don't know if Hall was coach then, but that brother died at 67 too. So, brother, I'm gonna put your name in the credits when I redo it. I'll look at his name, but he mentioned him too. I didn't know about him, and it's all ritual. It's all ritual. I mean, that's high ritual. You the first brother to be in somewhere, that kind of place, and you think that ain't ritual? It's high ritual. Chocolate and drinking this beer is the greatest thing. But yeah, Goodfellas. And I'll tell you what, my favorite part of Goodfellas was the way they wore, the shirt cuff over the tie. Instead of the tie being a big knot, whoever designed those gangster suits of 60s, 70s, late 60s probably, they designed the shirts where the tie sat under. And you had the littler tie and the tie sat under. I thought that shit was crispy. I don't know if y'all like into clothes like that, but that shit, clothes for that show, that was like gangster dressing. That was the shit. And wearing the suit and tie as the George Washington, y'all know that. That's the Mason ritual. Somebody mentioned somebody was Mason Shack and stuff. Sorry, I missed your comment. But suit and tie, trade up is, that's Mason as you can get. Damn. Fucking some shit up. What's a video where coaches had two-year boys go head up with each other. The boys had no more older than they had helmet with each other. Yeah, that's not good. If the Brewers win the World Series, that would be crazy. I don't think the Brewers ever gonna win the World Series. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you can't allow that. You see that, you gotta stop that kind of shit. But it just shows you, it was so much bad publicity for boxing because, as I said, there was a term for an older boxer called punch drunk, and I met guys like this. I met dudes. I'm telling you, I grew up with fights. My stepfather's best friend worked at General Motors, and from General Motors, he was able to be a boxing promoter. And so I grew up around fighters all the time. I'm always seeing fighters, And so I used to see them older fighters, them dudes they call punch drunk, and they was like the term retarded used to be. It was like they were old children almost in the mind. Very nice. I'll say that. If everybody you met punch drunk, they was very nice people. Very nice. But just not there. But I'll say that to a person, they very nice people. But it like beat that shit out of them. Ali had a little bit of that, and then they shot Ali too. Ali took them shots in his hands, and when he got older, you see what it did. That cortisone they shot in his hands because he had bursitis so bad. That's another thing. When they banned Ali, when he came back, he had bursitis really bad, and the only way he could fight was for them to shoot that shit in his hand so it deadened the pain. Because if they didn't deaden the pain, he couldn't do it. So he said, and that's why it's 70s. His shit was like, because That shit will eat the bones. It eat the bones in your hands. The steroids will eat bones. Mm. Concussions and CTE is more prevalent today. That's why 707 football has been more prevalent in middle school and high schools, essentially area football. Now, yeah, I talked about that. My best friend's son is in that 7-on-7. And they wear helmets. Even though there's no tackling, they wear helmets. As I said, it's a disadvantage for blocking linemen. It's a disadvantage for defensive tackles. Actually, I would say it would be great for rush ends. I know a lot of rush ends don't, 9 technique guys don't train like that. But I say to make yourself more valuable, you should get that training. The younger you get that training, the better you can cover, the more vulnerable, more valuable you could be. Blue and gold teams winning a championship in professional sports. That's a good point. That is a good point. Good catch, PJ. I know I'm a little late, but that's a good point. I wonder if they're going to allow being defensive player of the year to be a factor in the finals. Yeah, the script to have him, playing a part, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them to win. Watch the video where the coaches head up. Okay, I think I read that one. Yeah, the Brewers winning would definitely be crazy. I believe the last Celtics player that won they went to win. Oh, okay. British Clown, thank you for joining. Hey, thank you for joining me. Thank you for adding that. That is deep. I see Floyd Mayweather used to say he's trying to clean up boxing, the dirty sport. I don't know. And I met both of them. Roger, as I've said before, K-Dog knocked that Rogers ass out. So, yeah, I know the Mayweather daddies. I met both of them before. When we was young, used to see him fight all the time. They just from Grand Rapids. When you think Wilt already had his Richard Championship with Kansas winning the NCAA? I don't know. Wilt never won in college. So I don't know if that would be given that to him in college. Wilt never won in college. Wilt hated college. He hated the NCAA to what they did to him. It was hard for him to really accept that they allowed the triple overtime and to lose. He quit. After 2 years, he quit because I think his freshman year he couldn't play varsity. I don't think. They played JV. They had JV college back in the 50s and the 60s. Freshmen couldn't play. Kareem, I told the story before. Kareem, when Kareem was a freshman, the first game of the year was the JV versus the varsity that had won the NCAA the year before. A couple guys changed, but this is the number 1 ranked team. And Kareem's freshman team beats this varsity team easily with Kareem. Like if you see him dunk in college, this is his freshman JV game. His freshman team games. But college JV, freshman team. And you know what they did? They was like, this nigga is gonna dunk us for 4 years. And they did. They blocked the dunk because of Kareem or Lou Alcindor, and he developed the best shot ever that nobody uses, the sky hook. Why do you think they don't teach that? The most effective money shot that there ever was. More than any jump shooter, more than even Steph. The most accurate shot that there ever was, that players everywhere used. I was taught that. I mean, there was actually a drill that taught us how to hook shot. And yet it's not taught anymore. And as I said before, if you want to say, okay, you can't shoot threes from hook shots, I say watch the games of the 40s, 45, 40, 47, 48, 49, 50 of the NBA. Tell me what you see. Dudes from three-point areas shooting hook shots. And as I said, for those of you that know Medlock Lemon, before Goose Tatum used to do it, shooting it from half court. Goose Tatum used to do it, one and turn around, walk on the other side, get the other one. Medlock Lemon only do one. Like I said, Jim Thorpe used to kick a field goal he used to do a drop kick, which is worth more than extra points, 2 points for a drop kick. He would do it from the middle of the field. He'd do it through one goal, turn around, and do it through the other goal. Then run through everybody, And when he played defense, tackled the shit out you. Played pro baseball, couldn't hit the curveball. Won the decathlon in the Olympics. Shit, he should be the biggest dabber there ever was. King Spain said, "You the greatest athlete in the world." Do you know what they did for Jim Thorpe before his meets? They stole his shoes before the last to run on a cinder track. I don't know if y'all know what cinders is. This is coal. That's what they call a cinder track. Before to run the last race to win the decathlon, they stole his shoes. This is like, what, a mile and a half, 2 miles, something like that around the track. So he went in the trash and somebody had thrown some shoes away. You know, he got a little luck. You know, there's people watching out for him, you know, a little energy there for this American Indian. And he had to use one shoe too big and one shoe too little to run on the center track, and he still won by a wide margin. And one of the people he beat was on his team, Avery Brunich, and he's the one that got Jim Thorpe banned and all his medals taken away. Dude who lost the race to Jim Thorpe after his shoes were stolen. Later, the same man, after Jesse Owens stands up to Hitler, Jesse wanted to go home with his brand new wife. This man banned him from running in the Olympics and running to getting the money. Because, you know, after the Olympics, you go to parades and shit. He banned Jesse from, or no. Let me take it back. You keep running in Europe. You keep running in Europe and you're making money running in Europe. He banned Jesse from that. So I'm sorry, I got to rambling. Yeah, the guy pointed that out today. Someone pointed out every year Kendrick dropped the album, The Warriors win the championship. Yeah, the Gematria dude put that too. And he had pictures. He had did it, you know, whoever came out with that was showing, you know, who won the championship and whatnot. Yeah, that might be a tell too. Yep. Kaepernick trying to come back. Seeing is believing. They should have gave him a trial. As I said before, he should have played these other sports. I don't think it would have taken away his value. If he was really serious, he'd have played in these other leagues. He's had since the season he quit playing. And as I said about Kaepernick, if you think he real or not, he got paid 2 full years of contract, 2 full years for not playing. Something like 20 plus. Now, if y'all remember, right before Super Bowl rolled, they renegotiated his contract. They renegotiated his contract, gave him that extension for 2 years. The next 2 years, he didn't play. Or no, the next year he played, but he still got to play 2 years after he didn't play. The year he started kneeling, he only started kneeling after he got benched. He wasn't kneeling when he was benched. Remember that too. But I had an excellent video on my other channel of just his skill set. And it wasn't picking on him. It was just showing the way that the thing is set up. There are times you got to play. There are times you got to play. And sometimes they let you fail big. And it shows where he would just fail, where he just had to make a good show. Couldn't do it. You know, what they call it, ad lib? He could not ad lib. He was the quarterback that could not ad lib to keep the show going. So he won't be there. But yeah, PJ, seems like that is lined up. Wilt lost to UNC and Kansas got revenge like 60 years later. Yeah, they lost in triple overtime. No, they lost to State. They lost to, no, it wasn't Carolina. They lost to State. No, maybe it was. Yeah. Al McGuire maybe was coach. I think so, yeah. I could see the NBA having it where Curry, Ty LeBron, they both born in the same hospital. So was Nate Thurman. Nate Thurman was born in that hospital too. Both Curry and LeBron and Nate Thurman. But then again, they might shame the black coach again, just like Monty last year. That's a good point. I've kind of thought the same thing. Seeing him, I kind of thought the same thing. The hook is unstoppable. Yeah, it is. It's a shot. You can't, and I'm saying you can shoot it from anywhere. You can shoot it from anywhere. Before the jump shot, it was the hook shot. And it wasn't just hook shots around the basket. I'm telling you, watch the games in the 40s. Both brothers, everybody. And just the European style, you find film of, you find everybody. And again, that is where the half-court shot of Goose Tatum comes from. I'm looking at this beer. I'm drinking so bad. My 5th beer. How long have I been going on? I'll let it. I drank 4. Probably had enough. I drank 4. Probably more than enough. Definitely not gonna take another gummy. But the gummies are bomb. You know, the world in some small ways gets funner and funner. Other small ways it makes you want to be like a motherfucking storm. That's unfortunate. And you gotta appear like a storm. Let me say that to everybody. Appear always like a storm. You know, that's the thing with being men is don't be peeping in these motherfucking phones all the time. When you're moving around, don't be peeping in your phone when you're moving around. Get that phone shit in the car. Once you get out your car, you look at motherfuckers. You look at everything around you. Don't fucking be walking up to the store with the goddamn face in your phone. That ain't gonna be a responsible man. That ain't holding your head up high. You're being fucking distracted in the world around you. That is a bad. That's what That's what you expect women to do. You can't be like that. You got to show your children not to be like that. Walking around with your face in that shit. As I said, now we got people happy walking. We got people happy walking. And I don't mean, just walking for your health. I mean, like a person got to walk 2-3 miles because they ain't got no other way to get somewhere. And they happy walking 2-3 miles now because they got the phone. It ain't a struggle. It ain't a struggle no more. Because in some ways, you having to hump like that. Mm-hmm. 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 Damn. Oh, here we go. Other reason I picked Celtics, of course, every East team that defeats KD since 2019, Raptors, Bucks, maybe Celtics. Okay. Playoff, yeah, King Kane. It has been straight garbage, no doubt. East have 39 titles, the West 35. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you for adding that. Right on. We know that Cap shit is Cap. We know that Cap shit is Cap. He's playing a puppet role, definitely. Because you, as a quarterback, you have to keep working on them skills. If you ain't playing no game, taking no snaps, I don't give a fuck what you saying. Warren Moon is a prime example of why you just keep taking snaps. 5 years they wouldn't let him in. You see, he eventually got in a row. So you got to have snaps. You don't take snaps, I don't take you seriously. Wouldn't be shocked if they let Boring Heat win. They got East 40. I don't think so. The money ain't going to be there for that. Not the money they're looking for. Not the money they're looking for. For the title. Canes, yeah. You can't even be looking in the phone, even your car. No, exactly. Nope. You got to be aware, You got to be aware, guys. That's the number one thing is be fucking aware. Ever since Biden won Blue Conference, NFL and NBA, been winning. Bucks, Buccaneers, Rams, good one. NBA made West look amazing since 2000. Heat are done after they showed the Celtics thing on TV. Yeah, definitely. I was like, this is some bold shit. You got a game to go? Hope the NBA won't let them hit anything. But yeah, when they showed that shit, I'm like, wow. That's called shooting yourself in the foot. I don't know what that's called. Shooting yourself in the foot. Very surprised they showed that. Wow. I just want to thank you guys. As I said, I'm going to get these shirts made. just to try to, I've been always wanting to try to create stuff. So, and clothes has always been something I really dig. It's like even these other designs of other people, I don't mind because I like the art of clothing. I like the art of jewelry. I like the art. I like to participate in the art. I like to put the art how I like it. And clothing, is like when people get tattoos, they describe it as an art. Well, dressing is the same way. Your presentation should be a type of art. That's why there's so many things that we can choose from that we try to make ourselves, and not necessarily get attention, but just we're different. And dress is a way to show you're different from everybody, especially consistent dress. Like I do the work was like, man, how many hats you got? I'm like, probably a couple hundred. I mean, just a crazy estimate, like probably a couple hundred, bro. Because I love wearing hats. And you watch movies, you watch the old days after the Civil War. They didn't really. Kennedy is the one they say killed wearing hats. And the thing that brought hats back, really, the thing that brought hats back. I mean, again, I play sports, play baseball every year, always had hats. But really, the thing that brought hats back was truckers. Truckers wore the mesh hats because what it was there was some summers where the Major League Baseball went to the mesh hats. That's where they come from. They came from the major leagues wearing the mesh adjustable hats. Like probably 71, 72, them Oakland A's teams that I think won 3 in a row. During their years, they started wearing the mesh hats. And then the mesh hats went out of style. The Major League went back to the wool hats. Well, they started printing different shit. And before you know it, that mesh hat is the trucker hat. And that more than these hats made hat wearing baseball hats more stylish again, was those type of hats. If you look at the history of really where the culture began, it began more with trucker hats than any other kind, where people wore hats. Now in the Midwest, we always wore Godfather hats. Even before the Godfather movies, that really goes back to shit, the 1800s of wearing hats, the Lincoln stone pipe hat, all that. So, I love the culture. And for a long time, they really didn't sell sports stuff. I mean, they really didn't. When I went to high school, they only sold a couple different little shit that wasn't interesting to buy. But most of the sweet shit that you'd see, they just didn't sell this stuff. They didn't think, they were so greedy that they didn't want to sell this stuff. I mean, it was more of a greed of not wanting people to really have this stuff. And eventually it's like, wait a minute. Because they wanted to be so exclusive. That's really what it was. They wanted this high school stuff to be exclusive. So they didn't spread it out a lot. 2 weeks ago, I said Celtics Warriors finals. I called it. Okay. Y'all see the Thanos commercial with Tyler Hero? I think they sponsored the NBA. Yeah, I saw it. Yep. Yeah, he said he did. I saw it too. In a way, Warriors be like full house, always showing stuff, fam, all scripted, Cannon Curry, future stuff. Yeah. And, we saw the year of Steph getting more national commercials. And as I said, Luka, I ain't never seen Luka in a national commercial. Now, maybe some people in Texas can say they saw him in commercials in Texas, but he ain't been in no national commercials. No shit from, where like Steph commercials been national commercials. That's the way you gauge. But remember, Steph done won before. And so it ain't like Chris Paul, where Chris Paul ain't won. Steph won before. So when you see a person that's getting all these commercials and all this push and they've won before, it seems like the drift is with him. That's kind of the way it looks scripted. It's like they said, a happy ending. Steph Shorty 1-1 from the tunnel, pulling in. Wow. Starter had some of the best hats. Oh yeah, the starter hats was nice. No, PJ was there. PJ was there, what, a month ago. PJ went to the game and got this from the den in Memphis. Yeah, I like it all. I just like gear, you know. Curry got conference finals MVP. Yeah, that's another thing. They trying to push. The thing is trying to give, you know, Steph. Trying to give Steph. I meant to send this to Barbara. I don't know how it fell out. This one fell out. I was surprised when it was here. It's like, damn. But yeah, they're gonna. I mean, they're pushing Steph because he won it, and Clay too. Clay too. You know, Clay getting national commercials. Oh my goodness. Man, this is like, it's so easy. It's like what you do is you kind of light this, and it's not going to burn a whole lot, but you just make your intention. Okay, I guess you're going to stay on fire for a little longer. Okay, that's cool too. Means you're going to burn longer, and you just make your intention while it's going. You know, if you need to just be cleared or relieved, you know, it's the same way. Like you can, you know, the same way the smoke goes is to relieve pain. You can kind of do the same thing. You put the pain on the smoke. You know, or the same way you listen to music, you transfer the pain to the music, and the music can clear it away too. That's why I say music can move and remove, but it's just getting in tune to how you move it like that. I mean, there's plays, you know, there's ways we can transfer pain other than, you know, trying to just bury it deep, because that's what a lot of times people who had the problems is, you know, they have to bury pain so deep, and if that pain ever resurfaces, it starts fucking with you. So, you know, just get it out. You know, especially the mental kind of pain. And that's why it's so important to live in the moment. Because you can't let certain things that happen to you define you the rest of your life. You have to kind of move on and just do better, or whatever it is. They giving Russ and Lillard their commercials. They ain't got no commercials. Starter sets was 130 back in the early 90s. Yeah. Oh, I told you I had the original Timberwolf jacket, the first year one. That shit was sweet because it had the words in front. And what Starter did, and this is what Starter did before, as I said, when you would get a letter jacket, everything would be on the back. Starter was the first to put it in the front. And that was genius because nobody else did that. Most everything else you got was the name was in the back. That's why now I look at T-shirts. You know, some of my T-shirts, a lot of the nice shit is in the back. But now, as you know, putting content out, you see what I'm saying? It's like some of my shit would be like this in the front, be a little inch, but in the back is all. And that, I don't understand that, because that's, I guess, the idea of you walking around with the stuff. But most time, content creators is like this. You know, put the shit in the front. If the Warriors win the chip, we could all admit they won't get it again. Yeah, I think this would be his last one. Lorenzo, I like my hats. Kind of hats are fitted baseball hats. I used to have one for all my tall tees, blue tees for Dodgers, red for Red Sox, black tee for White Sox. I used to get the hats from the MLB site. Bet. Oh, the tall tees. Oh my goodness. That if there was ever a hood thing, tall tees is a hood thing. If there was ever really a hood thing, that was a hood thing. And as I said, the T-shirts. This is how they broke up the people when I was living in North Minneapolis. It was really like where the Arab stores was, because again, it was the Arab stores, and each kind of neighborhood sold different T-shirts, different colors, and it wasn't really no gang, but it was like you could tell where the shirt came from, because different stores sold. And so, of course, this was the tall tee area, you know, the long T-shirts. And it was like you could drive around the city. You could pretty much tell if you looked at one of the T-shirts, you could tell what side of town they got that T-shirt on. You can't tell me they didn't do that shit on purpose. And the T-shirts was super cheap. Remember, you get 3 tall tees for like $5 or some shit like that. I still got some of the motherfuckers I never wear it. I'm like, oh shit, this is this shit. Dame have a commercial back in 2015 talking about not having the championship. Dame, Barkley, Malone, Barry Sanders, Chris Webber was in commercials. Dame said he didn't want to retire ringless. Yeah, I don't know. Unless he go to the Lakers. Looks like it's fixing to happen. Dame won't win a championship. I don't think he's gonna not win one too. Him and Chris Paul, they both either one. Looks like it's fixing to happen. Tall tees and baggy jeans. Oh yeah, I still got some of the tall tees. I'll bring one. I'll try to remember tomorrow night to bring one of these tall tees I got out. And these ain't even like, you know, really cool shirts. These just, it was motherfuckers to get on the bandwagon and shit. Yeah, the franchise boy had a song called White Tees. Yeah, but I'm saying the side of town, you could tell where they bought their tees. Yeah, you could tell where they bought them tees from. Tall tees, yeah. They're just the long ones, you know, and that's what everybody wore. Here, everybody wanted them Impalas, them Impala SS's, you know, them Impalas with them big engines in it. That was, I think from, you know, Midwest thing, another thing. Caprices was kind of cool too. But it was interesting. Like Chicago, in this area, was all, you know, the Caprices, the boxy Caprices, and the, you know, the more teardrop shaped Caprices. The first time I saw that, it's a concept car, the teardrop Caprices. Originally it was a Cadillac, and later the Cadillac still kept the square. You know, where the Caprices was more teardropped. The Cadillac still, they didn't keep the body. They took the body, but they never made the Cadillacs the teardrop shape. But they took the rest of the body and made it the same car. That platform, yeah. My neck of the woods, they was $10 each. I got hell no, they wasn't never like that. Yeah, they was like 3 for $5. They never sold them like that. And it was funny. They let these dudes sell weed there. And that's all the dudes. They wasn't bothering nobody. They just selling weed there. And every once in a while, they go like they would go like it was the FBI busting these niggas selling weed at the convenience store. And it was just so ridiculous. Like supposedly they killed a brother of New York over selling single cigarettes. That shit is so common in places that, you know, it was like, here's a funny story. So I moved to Minneapolis. I'm in Minneapolis, living in North Minneapolis. I'm hearing all these crazy ideas. And, you know, I ain't really lived around. Well, I can't say that. I lived in the hood in Michigan too. And so I just got all these ideas. And so we washing clothes because my place didn't have, so I had to go to a local place. And so I'm carrying my pistol up there. You know, I'm like, got to carry my pistol because I don't know. And I've got these loads of clothes because, you know, you got 3 children and 2 adults. It's loads of clothes. So I'm standing outside and I'm looking at this dude checking me out. And I'm like, damn, I got to shoot this motherfucker right when I'm there. And then like, I thought, okay, he's moving like maybe he wants to sell some dope or something. And so he slid next to me and he said, I got them DVDs. And I'm like, you've got DVDs, huh? And then he whispered it again, you know, that whispering talk. I'm like, okay, I'm into DVDs. Show me what you have. Oh, it was like this motherfucker was selling some crack. You know, he like had to come whisper that he was selling, you know, the DVDs back in the day. Like, nigga, you gonna get shot over some goddamn DVDs fucking with me. But I just always found that humorous, you know, like, wow, they bum rushing you from the DVD. You gotta like sell it undercover at the laundry. I mean, they ain't panhandle. At least they have something. The box Caprices was easy to steal. Well, anything that had the old fashioned was easy to steal. When they put the columns there, they was asking people to steal them. When they put the columns up here, you know, now see where the columns up here really came from was you used to shift. You know, that's where the shift was up here, wasn't on the floor. So the original shift was up here. So when they took that away, they still liked that idea. And so what they did is they put the ignition here where it had been before. Now it's most cars where you don't have them, but if you have them, they back somewhere up here. If you have them, a lot of cars don't even have that shit anymore. It's just self-start, you know. But when they put them here, that was the now the 50s and 60s cars. It was easy to just get under the car, and I mean that was easy. My mother tells the story how she would steal my grandfather's car, and they even knew how to turn back the dials. She said they would steal his car and drive all around because they done went somewhere. It's gonna take them a day or so to get back, so they can time the shit. They told them don't take the car, took the keys, and they would hotwire the cars and take the motherfucking cars. And then before they got back, they would turn the miles back because my grandfather would write the mileage down. So they out thunk them. She used the shit out the ride. She said my grandma was mad. Like when I turned in my car, I said my miles was, you know, she told him later he was mad. I thought my miles was honest. So yeah, those cars were easy to steal, you know. And as I say, you know, that's why I see movies like New Jersey Drive. They was talking that bullshit about joyriding cars just for the thrill of being a nigga and you stealing cars. I mean, that shit was so stupid. When YBI really created that in carjacking to move from Detroit to the rest of the country, it was to, you know, chop the cars up because people knew, you know. It's like now people stealing catalytic converters because they have a value. But before, you know, you chop a car up, it was worth more than the car in its whole. So that's really, you know, that it was a business. You know, New Jersey Drive looks like it's a bunch of goddamn idiots. It was such an insulting movie of really the real reason behind it. I'm sorry, but if you 5'9" and under, your short ass is messed up for tall tees. They look like nightgowns. No, you know what it looked like? It looked like on the Boondocks. When the Boondocks wear the tall tees, that's how they looked. They look like the Boondocks characters, while they put the tall tees around their knees. Three on the tree. Hey, Michael, how you doing? I got them flicks. I made so much money slanging porn flicks, bootleg movies. Yeah, that shit was hell yeah. The things were so easy to steal. The club was made because of them. Yeah, the club, and you could break the clubs too. Clubs wouldn't stop you, you know. I'm a cop, and you know I knew how to defeat them clubs. That didn't stop you, but it was like that. That was, you know, that was the companies being cheap, and it wasn't just GM cars. There was a lot of, you know, cars was made like that, and I was asking for that. Shit, you sit there, and before you could open the doors up with a hanger, you know. Before you could just stick a hanger in the door, put a little thing around it, or you could push the door open. Do you know how many times? Like I had a car where I locked myself out, and the dude was like, "Well, I can't do it for you, but I'm gonna show you how to get in your car." And my car actually had. I've only locked my keys out of my car one time, and this was back in '81 or '82. I was getting a stereo. I was buying a stereo, and so excited to lock my keys in the car. The dude was like, "I'll give you the tools and show you how to get in your car." I had a Colt, which is a two-door Mitsubishi, but it was called a Dodge Colt. And it had two back windows that didn't really fully open. It was like port windows. But the windows in the window had two screws. And dude said, just unscrew them. And so you could unscrew the windows from the outside and it lets you in, you know, and then you could unscrew the little port thing and get in the car to reach to open the door. But it was like, yeah, show me to do it. So it was, I mean, cars were like I was telling my daughter, I look at rims. If you look at like what's around us, rims are one of the most beautiful things on cars. Like you don't really have to spend a lot of money to make rims. Rims are so unique. Like I look at my car and they made those Tauruses so unique. Almost all of them look different. I've only found one other car that has my rims that didn't look like my car, the color combination, but it's just all of them are so unique. And so I just look at the rims because in my lifetime used to be a thing called hubcaps. You know, motherfuckers would steal your hubcaps and shit. Motherfuckers get a new car and niggas keep stealing their hubcaps to make the car look ugly. You know, hubcaps. Or you'd hit something, a hubcap, you see the hubcap flying. Sometimes you'd be able to stop and go retrieve that motherfucker. And then they turned into, you know, the rims. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. Almost all of them look good. Art, cars art. That's why I like watching the auctions. I like the history of these cars too. I like the history of cars. My boy had a Colt. Yeah, I had two Colts. Check this out. I had one of the Colts. Well, it was a Mitsubishi, but it was a Colt. But the motherfucker talked and shit. Do y'all remember the cars that talked? Your door is open. Your door is open. That motherfucker wouldn't shut up until you shut the door. But remember those cars? Do you want, what else did it say? It didn't say a whole bunch, but that was the main thing that was irritating as fuck. Your door is open. Your door is open. But yeah, I had two of them. I had two, but they were sold through Chrysler, but it's made by Mitsubishi. And don't be big time D-boy riding a Chevy on 20s up. You was easy lick for them Jack boys. Yeah. Well, like they show the dude get jacked. That's going to like he getting fast food and dude jacks him in Minister Society. Took me a minute to remember the name of the movie. And the dude jacks him at the drive-thru, giving you Dayton's, put some D's on that bitch. But the way they made now, you don't even need that shit no more. They're made like so good that you don't what come on the car. I mean, if you want them unique, like with my car, probably if I put better like snow tires on my car, 18s, it would handle them. I know it would handle them because right now it's 17 on, but I could probably put better tires and put 18s on them. It would handle them good too. So just the way they make them. But yeah, I had a Dodge Colt 2-door. And I had a couple. I had 3 Mitsubishis, all called Dodges, Dodge Colts. Yep. Fun little cars. Fun little cars. Shit, I was back and forth from North Carolina. One time I had my Fuzzbuster. Normally to drive 55, because back then you had to drive 55. They were pulling you over. Ohio was terrible to drive through at 55. They would like you think you pulling up on a broken van, it'd be them back behind them radaring your ass. And they would try to be tricky through the Ohio turnpike. But shit, that little car, I mean, one time we made it back 15 hours. A trip that normally take you from North Carolina to Michigan to take you about 18, so 20 maybe. Shit, 55? 55 is slow traveling. You're burning more gas. And North Carolina had, and Tennessee, Kentucky like that too. They had them kind of intersections where you got to go up in these motherfuckers. Most intersections you go on and you go off. No, some of them states was you would have to go to the cities damn near to get gas. It was so fucked up. You had to go just to Hitville to go get gas, or go get something to eat. You had to go. Shit was such a waste of gas, but it was all, trap and all that, speed trap. So, but yeah, some of the ridiculousness they made of the box kind of Chevys, just so ridiculous, putting truck wheels on that shit. But it's some good engines that came out of them. Good engines. Actually, they was cabs for a long time. That was how reliable they were. Cop cars. When I was first a cop, we were still driving them, and then we switched from them to the Taurus. When they made the Taurus, the original police pursuer engine, you could get the Ford police pursuer engine. We had one of them. And I told the story about my boy. So we working one night and we get a call, my boy done crashed that motherfucking shit. And I know this dude was taking classes in the morning and he was trying to be a cop at night. And he fell asleep driving the car and he crashed some shit. And he said that he dropped the radar gun. Now, back then, the radar gun is some shit like this. It's a big boxy thing, I mean, it's a big boxy thing. And his story was when he lied to the people and said he dropped the big boxy thing and went to reach for it and lost control of the car. That's the best lie he could make, instead of saying, look, I fell asleep and I crashed into some shit. I listened to him tell the story because, motherfucker, we all had to go in at the same time. And I'm just looking at this motherfucker and I'm looking at these folks and they accepted that shit. I'm like, they know what the fuck this motherfucker was doing, that he taking them classes and that he, so that's how it goes. But those cars was good cars. And I bought, let me think. This is my 6th Taurus. I bought 6 of these type of cars, so I know what to expect from them. Because the daddy wagon was basically a Taurus. It was just on that Volvo platform, all-wheel drive, but it had the same engine. This is the upgrade. My engine is not the engine of the new engine. You remember under Obama's kind of what he had cars having to have. They have the smaller engines that's got the turbos on them, and those engines, turbos can age a car because it's such a harder process on the parts. So yeah, my little bit of car theory. But I feel good tonight. I'm back. Again, this is a joyous day of the day out of time. And so I don't know if you guys can really appreciate the spiritual freedom that is released these next hours. And so however you do it, just say just connect to this and just know that there's something that's there for you that moves the way you truly able to move. Today, really, as I said, a celebration of today is the kind of thing, as I tell you, when you work and where you go, it should all be on your time. You can control that. Where you work, where you move, you just have to put the effort into making it do that. All right? You can't just go to a place and it's going to do that for you. No, the whatever way that it works, when you get into that system, you have to put that into the system. And this is, most systems are not prepared to fight this type of magic. The magic don't care about this thing. Because you personalize where you work, wherever you do, you have some way you personalize it. And the time at work is the same way. You can make the time go fast, you can make the time go slow, whatever you need at work. You can see that pattern. You can make it feel whatever you need it to feel, how you want it to go. You want it to go slow? Okay, you need slow time, it'll do that for you. Need a little more rest, slow time, you need it to breeze through, work can do that for you. Wow, where'd those hours go? Shalita enjoyed the live. Well, thanking you for your Taurus has the same engine as the Jaguar has. The one before did. Not you talking about the yeah, for a while the Jaguar and the Taurus was the same car. Yeah. That was the mistake Ford made. Jaguars was damn near made like Bentleys. These was handmade engines and shit. And Ford, Ford had really, to keep up with GM, GM, I don't know if y'all remember, but GM and Ford bought all the car companies at one point. They bought almost all the car companies. Ford owned Mazda, Ford owned Volvo, Ford owned Jaguar, GM owned Suzuki, GM owned, I'm trying to think, GM owned Volvo, maybe GM owned Volvos. No, GM didn't seem like it. But like GM owned, it was like they almost owned all the car companies at one point. And so one thing that that hurt Ford, so when I think it's when, let me get this right. So when they bought Volvo equipment was newer and they didn't have to do a lot to Volvo. Whereas when Ford bought Jaguar, a lot of the dies, the presses, and that equipment was like they took a big hit on it. It was like they almost didn't investigate this kind of stuff, just acquired it without investigating a lot of that. So they had to retool everything to bring it up to date without evaluating it beforehand. So now I saw one dude be bait and switch, and he'd be putting headlines, but talking about the Ford Lightning might bankrupt Ford. So we'll see. We'll see. But I guess in closing, I'll say what I always say. Spirituality has no name. Spirituality is almost like love. It just is. It ain't one thing. It just is. And so your spirituality can't necessarily be defined like other people's. And nor should you want to define it like that. It should be unique to you. However you want to practice your magic and what you do. I mean, you ain't got to call it magic, but it's just magic is there. and we see that they want you to think that magic just comes from religion, blind belief, and that your luck, whatever you call it, comes from blind belief. Like I was saying, even if like I'm sorry, even with dealing with this in chakras, I was like because this vibration does give off kind of a throat chakra kind of thing, but it's even relying on that. It's a limit on that too. It's a way of categorizing everything and saying it's these, and that's the same thing as saying karma, and believing in the Kabbalion. It's again, you want to be above all that, I mean, that's the one thing, you know, Hanukkah, Hanukkah waits for the reaction. So just because there's a reaction, you can just look at it and say, okay, do you need to be counted? So in rhythm, as I've said before, me hitting these bowls or not, these bowls is making noise. Same with the instrument. Just because you ain't playing it don't mean it ain't moving. It ain't playing. It's always playing. It's what it's made to do. It's because I ain't hitting it don't mean nothing. Everything that touches it, everything, wind, dust, whatever hits it, it makes a vibration from it. So that's how you should look at it. It's made for you. The system is made for you. The system is made for us to move through it. That's one part of it. Shit, you ain't got to be rebellious or none of that. You can just sit back and use it. That's the best part. Just sit back and use it. Let me see. There was some shit I wanted to talk. Let me see. Make sure I got it all out. Okay. Let me say this. As I said, you know, I always talk about Jupiter's rising, and Jupiter's rising, showing the dinosaurs being subservient to the Europeans. Okay. Now, the one thing that you gotta see who's pushing these dinosaur movies and wants you to believe the dinosaurs is the birds. You know, if the battle is between the birds and the snakes, the birds is the dinosaurs. So the birds want you to think that they was these big things lumbering around and flying around and wasn't nothing else but them. 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 That is bullshit. That is bullshit. And whatever they were defeated. We know they were defeated. A lot of emphasis shows they were defeated. But that's this dinosaur push is. It comes from them, the birds. So okay, yeah. I guess I ain't got no shit and wrote me some notes to make me laugh. Still, I like that theory of, you know, I go out and I'm high and the world ain't high. I think that's one of the funnest kind of vibrations. Like to show these motherfuckers ain't like me. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm out here, I'm high and you're not. So there's something up to you. I'm gonna keep my eye on you. So right now, we are on day 4, and this is not right. So the wrong card. All right. I looked at the wrong shit. Oh, okay. Apparently I can't count either. I'm gonna do another reading. If anybody wants a reading, put in there you want a reading, because these other cards are jumping in my hands, so they want more reading. So if anybody wants a reading, I'll do a reading. Only one card though. I'm not gonna go that deep into it. But they want to work, so might as well get practice. Guess that's what, like doctors, you know, they say they practice. That's what it is, spiritual practice. I mean, what do you think a ritual is? A ritual is a type of practicing. You're practicing this ritual to get to move these energies. That's what a ritual means. It's moving energies. So the 4 card is Khan. Energy is coming from the west. Seed, corn, or iguana. Qualities are seed, seeding, manifestation, self-germination, creation, fertile ground, gestation, opening, erupting possibilities, acting on inspiration, initiating creative ideas, and developing confidence. Well, symbol is well-rooted, seeding, solar plex energy. The number is 4, measures in cycles. Color is saffron yellow. Herb is sunflower petals or dandelion. The flower is yellow lily or buttercups. I used to love buttercups as a little boy. We would get them out the yard, just suck them up. Flower essence is bow tree. Scent is clover. Clover don't smell good. Stone, citrine, golden calcite, tiger's eye. It's a fire element in direction. If you want a little push of the day at a time, it comes from the south. Shadow wisdom is fear, feeling of insecurity, limiting new possibilities with routine, choosing to remain safe at the expense of awakening and growth. Lack of confidence. You got to be confident. What did my cousin on his song? It says confidence does not come from anything but being. You just got to be confident. That's where it comes from. Confidence comes. But my cousin put in the song, confidence in something, and confidence is being. That's it. But the way you can transform is realize that you and your life are fertile ground, that you awaken your own dreams and possibilities, free yourself from the illusion of safety as you enter the manifestation of emergent possibilities. Harmonic wisdom is progression. Mudra, see if I can do this. Hand cupped over each other, the solar plexus that's holding the seed, opening your hands, offering your seed to life. And while you put your hands here, you say, I'm the Bodha Mandala, the seed of possibly erupting. Or you say, I'm the fertile ground, the self-germinating seed of possibilities. So that's pretty easy one. That one doesn't sound like as much bullshit. Because some of them be some bullshit. So Curry will win the chip his 13th season like Kobe and LeBron. Oh, okay. Y'all guess who the Celtics done coach date? Nia Long. They've been together for 12 years. Yeah, I saw that. Audi has now one of these days. GM has Audi now. Oh, okay. I'll use my discount on one of these days. Okay. Yeah, I get a discount through my grandfather and my father. We get that lifetime. It don't never go out for them. And so we've been getting that. You know, I got my first car like that. Well, not my first car, but when I became a cop, you know, the reason why they hated me, I was like, I slid in there I'm wearing dangled up, and I'm slid in a brand new car. Matter of fact, I had 2 brand new cars. I had a Colt and I had a brand new Grand Prix. I had an 89 Colt, 2-door, that my ex-wife. Actually, I had an Audi. I bought like what was that Audi? The Audi wasn't 4-wheel. It was still real drive. That motherfucker must have been 84, 85, 86, and I bought it in like 88, 89. So it was like 4 or 5 years old when I bought it. It had the old crank sunroof. I don't know if y'all remember that. The sunroofs used to be a little crank thing and shit, but it wasn't shit far as handling. I mean, reliable though, and roll on the highway. I mean, as I said, when I hustled, I loved it because when we had the phones and the phones had to be plugged in, you know, this Audi had plugs in every door. Like even the passenger door had a lighter plug. The 2 in the back seat had lighter plugs, so I could sit in the back, you know, and have my phone plugged in. That shit, I love that shit. You know, I love that shit back hustling when we were just street hustling. Had the phone right there plugged in. Shit, that was fun hustling. I like that car for that. But yeah, they was hating on me. They was hating on me so much. My coworker said, "Don't drive my new car." He said, "Don't drive the Grand Prix to work. They ain't gonna like it." And you tell me now, was he a Tom for telling me, you know, or was he a Tom for putting up with it? You telling me that they gonna hate me because of my car? So how did you fit in? You telling me you worked here 20-some years and how you fit in? So you could only drive a certain car the 20-some years you worked here? Or they would think funny about you? That's how it worked, really? I don't know. I don't know, y'all. But you know, I ain't bitter about things. I take it as it comes. I take it as it comes, one moment at a time. I appreciate that all that's here and all I got. I appreciate that shit. And that's how we all should be. Well, what did he say? Just be thankful for what you got. That was the realest shit of repeating vibration. Wasn't a diamond in the back of the sunroof top. It was being thankful for what you have. Because more than likely, you have enough. Oh, look at this. I thought it was tripledite. I don't think so much. I don't really know what it is. This is what they told me, but I don't think so. But beautiful. Strong moon energies. It's like one of the stones you work with right after a moon or a full moon. Very crumbly. So, okay. I guess that's how I'm gonna end it. And I'll end it with Mora. Okay. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their homeland, yet they knew that they had exact numbers of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization they built, it was built to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent, which is the Milky Way, which is whichever vibration that you can touch on as you imagine what this system is. Because you have to have some kind of imagination of what you're seeing and what you're feeling. And it's on you. And so, as I said earlier, you move through your day, you move through your night. May nothing harm you. May you break all attachments that you feel don't work for you. May that be removed. The attachments ain't there for your highest good. What are they there for? May that be broken away. May your sleep be peaceful. Those of you at work, may your work be peaceful. May your work be safe. May when you get off to go to work, may you get the rest you need. May you be able to renew just like everyone else. However sleep you get, may it renew you. And be like me. I can't wait till tomorrow. I can't wait till the morning when I wake up, because every day I get better looking. I mean, it's not hard to be this old and still look good. Because it ain't about the money, it's about the mind, baby. Your mind will bring you the abundance you need. Mm. 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 But baby, this has been the Jogger Mountain Show. I am your main man from Japan, Big Pontiac. And probably no responsible daddy hour tomorrow. We'll see. I do have to do a little moving around. Depends how the day goes. Maybe. Oh, pick up food tomorrow too. So might be a little busy dropping food off. And I'm not gonna do a video on that. I don't want to show the people. I don't want to show none of that. I do that from the heart. So I don't need no publicity for that. Just helping people. Do know people. Indeed. Yeah. So this has been your guy, Big Pontiac. I'll be on tomorrow night at this time, or tomorrow morning, Saturday morning at this time, this place, this station, this back channel. Your main man giving you this energy from Japan. This Big Pontiac, baby. Till we meet again. Say less.